Hello, this is Joe183. This is episode 24 of the Mighty Lotus career mode, and we're here for round 2 in season 2, and it's Bahrain. If you missed the first race of this season, then go and check it out in Australia, uploaded a few days ago, and yeah, covered it into Bahrain. And for the practice programs, it's a track that I like, but I'm not very good at, which is quite a lot of the tracks on the calendar, really, when you think about it. But yeah, into practice, it should be fairly simple. I didn't do too well here last season, so yeah, hopefully we can do a bit better than that. Although last season my car was like the back market car still, and now we are, according to the table, we're second in the performance order, and I think I might be lying a little bit. But going on to tyre wear test, it's a green score there. The deltas were slightly easier than Australia, but I still couldn't get purple quite comfortably like you can at some tracks. But yeah, green scores pretty much all round, which I'll happily take, to be honest. As we're into season 2 now, the car isn't desperately in need of upgrades, so as long as we get some points, I'm fairly happy with that. And obviously having a good teammate helps as well, because Carlos gets quite a few resource points as well. And yeah, onto race strategy. These are the only ones I could actually do, the quality pace, and I think that was one of that I couldn't do as well. So yeah, moving on into qualifying then under the lights in Bahrain. Q1, obviously I should be able to get out of Q1 quite comfortably, having what is supposedly the second best car. But we saw in Australia I struggled with that quite a lot, and taking that much curb, and that's such a poor exit there. We might struggle on this lap to get out of Q1, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a 25.5, which puts me currently in 9th, which isn't amazing, behind both Haas cars. So we are going to have to go once again. And yes, at the end of the session we went out for another lap, and coming through turn 1, braking nice and late there, taking a good apex and exit speed, and then clipping the inside curve of turn 2 very nicely, and not over the exit curve too much, but we're a 10th and a half up already, which is fairly good. We are currently 18th though, so we definitely need to improve at this point. And it's a bit frustrating because I don't really want to have to do 2 runs in Q1, because we should just be able to get through in 1 set of tyres and then have 2 sets for Q2, but unfortunately we've got to use up 2 in Q1. But coming through the S section now pretty smoothly through there, 3/10 up on previous lap. We weren't too far off the next cars anyway, so yeah, a clean, decent lap, and it should be good enough to get through to Q2. But we'll wait and see how the rest of it unfolds into double left, and taking out very nicely there, braking late and getting it slowed down. I think, as I said in Australia, the aggression you can have with this car, because it grips pretty much everywhere, is way higher than I expect. So I'm still driving it as if it's like a back market car, when really the grip it gives is way higher than what I'm used to. So I need to just be more aggressive, basically. But coming across the line, we are half a second up, and it's going to be through to Q2 in 14th place, which, to be honest, still isn't very good, but just to get into Q2, avoiding the embarrassment of what we got in Australia, I'll take it. We're only 4/10 off Carlos, and you can see the gaps. Verstappen in 5th on a 24.5, and then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see 25.5 is Grosjean in 20th. So that's 15 cars separated by a second, which is just incredible, really. And it's so close. You really got to get good laps in. But as I said, the first lap in Q2 was on dead softs that I used in Q1. So unfortunately, this is my best lap in Q2 at the end. The banker was absolutely atrocious, but going up the hill towards turn 4, and Hamilton's gone a 23.5. Bottas beats out as well, and I'm on a 25.5 at the minute, so not a chance of getting near them. Like through turn 4 now, pretty smooth on through there, gained about half a tenth, then losing on the exit there. And now this next the S section, trying to take as much speed through as possible. This was the corner I think I was losing a lot of time, because you can just be so much more aggressive than you could have done last season. And yeah, through to turn 8, not taking as much speed as I could on through there, but the exit was pretty fine. And we're 2/10 up now on a previous. Sainz is actually safely through to Q3, so it'll be interesting to see how close to him I am. I don't think I'll be matching him as we saw in Australia, but through the double left there, gaining about 4/10 of a second. That's very good compared to previous. But we are in 16th of it, so we need to get a good lap in as possible. I'm not expecting to be in Q3 if you look at my Q1 time, but we can give it a good shot and see where we end up. And through the to end at the second sector, we're 7/10 up now. We're 82 thousandths up on Ricciardo's time, which might just scrape me through to Q3, but if we keep it clean, we might have a chance. We'll have to wait and see down the second last straight. And up to the final corner, braking nice and late, and not taking as much entry curb as I did in Q1, luckily. But the exit's been a little bit better, and we're now 6.5 up, coming up towards the line, crossing it. It's going to be a high 24, and it leaves me in P14, if I can see rightly from the steering wheel. And yes, it is, which is the same place we were in Q1. I can sort of accept that. Carlos Sainz, unfortunately, well, good for him, but unfortunately for me, is 9/10 clear in 3rd. I don't know where he's getting the pace from, but unfortunately we're out 2/10 off of Q3. There was definitely that time in hand. Magnussen actually getting through in the Alpha there were very good, because Alpha is a pretty poor car. I was actually 13th because someone had an engine penalty, and yeah, medium hard. It does allow me to do 1 stop, which is very beneficial here at Bahrain, so hopefully we can make that advantage play into our hands. But into the 5 red lights then for the Bahrain Grand Prix from 13th on the grid. and it's lights out. There we go. Giovinazzi gets a very good launch alongside me. Ricardo bogs down a little bit. We're going to swing to the outside of him. The man we raced quite a lot in Australia, but down the outside, down towards turn 1, trying to keep it nice and clean, not braking too late. All the cars on the inside are braking pretty early. We're going to run outside of Magnussen. He's going to not really turn ever, and we've made a bit of contact with him there. It's still 3 wide on my right, so I've got to hop over that curb to not make contact with Magnussen and Perez, who are still alongside me. It's going to be very close stuff here down towards turn 4. And if we can swing around the outside, then we're pretty much on the back of the top 7, top 6. So yeah, hopefully we can keep ahead of Magnussen now. Really, this is beneficial for our race if we can clear all the midfield drivers really straight away. That's exactly what we've done around the outside of Perez and Magnussen, both at turn 4. And through the S section, we can start building a gap, hopefully. And these mediums, they won't turn on quite as quickly as the softs, but in a few laps' time, when the softs start wearing, we should be in the pound seats, really, to gain on the likes of Gasly and Verstappen up ahead. But Gasly fell off the back of the top 6 pretty quickly, and that's allowed me to catch up. And through the final corner, try and keep it nice and clean, get a good exit. DRS now enabled, it's lap 3, so we are close enough to Gasly. He's not got the DRS on Verstappen, luckily, and in that Honda engine, he's going to be struggling to get the speed on the straights. And down in the slipstream now, he's going a bit defensive. Can we swing to the outside here? We're going to try it and brake very late on Gasly. Going to be very close racing through turn 1, down to first gear to try and get the car rotated, and out on the exit, still very close. Gasly's going to hold it around the outside, actually, so I've got to leave him a bit of space, and he's going to come across me there and hit my front right tyre, but we've just about got him. Try and give him a bit of a squeeze back, and swing into the left-hand side of the track, and brake it later than him, and just about having the position into turn 4 there. Very good racing, though, with the Frenchman. It is AlphaTauri. He's doing a pretty good job as best of the rest, effectively, at the minute, but speaking of doing a very good job, Ferrari are not doing that, as Vettel's car is in the bin again, as it was in Australia. He's actually out on lap 4, so very early, and a safety car deployed as well, so that might not play into my hands too much, because obviously all the soft runners will now pit and get effectively a free pit stop. I'm going to stay out because, yeah, obviously mediums can go to our lap for 13, 14, so hoping to take track position and build on the gap. And yeah, all of the soft runners ahead of me pit, so I'm now into lead the race. So let's have a look, replay at the start. You can see the 2 Mercedes on the front row, not a very big surprise there, but Carlos qualified 5th in the end, so very good job to him. He's about 9 positions higher than me, I think. So yeah, down towards turn 1 though. We obviously just about sent it around the outside of the Renault and the Alfa Romeo of Magnussen, and that livery is so nice under these floodlights, by the way. Just wanted to mention that. And yeah, coming through the exit, we squeezed Magnussen a little bit on the inside there, but it's still 3 wide down the straight. We obviously saw braking nice and late into turn 4, and you saw up ahead Sainz also beat Vettel off the line as well, but that's not really relevant anymore since Vettel's out of the race. But yeah, Magnussen is in 2nd, but he's on softs. Then it's Giovinazzi and Ocon and Kvyat, and then it's Norris, and then Carlos Sainz, who has jumped both Mercedes and is effectively in a net race lead, I think, although all the AI have pit for mediums, I believe, or softs, I think. So they've all got another stop to do, so I'm effectively leading. But we're trying to get a good restart here. We left everyone for dust, really, because obviously the midfield cars behind me, I should have the pace to build a gap on, especially Magnussen on those dead softs. And yeah, down towards turn 1, keeping it nice and smooth. And really all I've got to do now is do the best race time as I can and just keep pushing and hope that the Mercedes and the Ferraris and my teammate Sainz can't catch up on their 2 stops. But into lap 8 now, a few hours later, DRS has been enabled, and luckily it's been enabled now, sorry. And we've got a gap already, so there's no way the Alfa Romeos are keeping up through corners. Magnussen also pit that lap, so that race Giovinazzi into 2nd. But lap 13, quite a bit further into the race now. We didn't really gap Giovinazzi as much as I hoped. We're only 3 seconds clear, and yeah, 5 seconds clear of Norris, you can see. And I think it was Bottas just behind Norris at this point. So yeah, unfortunately my pace wasn't as good as I'd hoped. I thought I'd gap the midfield drivers a lot, but we didn't really do that, and now we're going to peel off into the pits for my one and only stop in this race. And all the other medium runners are going to carry on. Bottas is leading at the minute from Leclerc, and Hamilton, my teammate Sainz, already pit for his 2nd stop. Which I think he went onto medium tyres. Meanwhile, I'm going onto hard tyres and going to get a 2.1 actually. Very good pit stop there from the Lotus boys, and leaving the pit lane. It's going to be behind one of the Williams of Russell. Is it behind the Alfa Romeo Magnussen? Yes, it is. So we're out in P10. Although plenty of the, I think all of the runners ahead of me still have another stop to do. So I wouldn't worry too much about the position at the minute. But yeah, we've got a bit of clear air, trying to close up on Magnussen and Russell now, who should be quite easy to pass, especially as Magnussen's still on soft tyres. I think he's done 8 or 9 laps on now, so he's going to be struggling a lot. And actually, as we catch him and get DRS, he's going to pit anyway. So that gets rid of that problem, as well as a lot of the other drivers, so raising us back up into 3rd place. But Charles Leclerc is onto the medium tyres. He was doing very well in his 2nd stint there, and coming out of the pits, you can see on the top left as I lock up and lose a lot of time there in turn 1, which isn't helpful. But you see Leclerc is only 4.5 seconds back, so yeah, really worrying because he's on out mediums and a faster car anyway, I believe, or effectively around this track it is anyway. And Hamilton pitting the next lap. The Mercedes didn't pit at the same time as everyone else, but they're going one longer. You see, one up later, Leclerc has gained 1.4 seconds on us, which at that rate he'll be catching us in no time. We're going to the end, so is he. Hamilton, meanwhile, was in the pits that lap and came out just behind Leclerc, 4.2 seconds. So, yeah, really it's going to be a tall order to try and hold on to what is effectively the race win at the minute. Although with 10 laps to go, Leclerc is closing at a vast rate of knots. And meanwhile, Bottas in the pits as well is going to split Leclerc and his teammate, only just behind Leclerc, actually. You've seen a mini-map there. So Bottas is also one to keep an eye on. He's just behind Leclerc, 1.6 seconds back. And, yeah, unfortunately, Leclerc and Bottas had way too much pace for me. I don't know what it is, but the car just, it wasn't working fantastically well. Obviously, it's still pretty good because we're leading the race, but Leclerc, especially with that Ferrari straight on speed, it was really helping him on the long straights at Bahrain, and he's going to absolutely tear past down the straight. Not a chance of my defending that, as that Ferrari straight on speed was insane there, and braking as late as I possibly could into turn 1, but unfortunately Leclerc was already a few car lengths clear, and he's into the lead of the race, and he's looking in the pound seats to win, really. And you can see at the end of the same lap, lap 21, Leclerc has gained 1.6 seconds in that lap, especially as I was suffering with dirty air a bit. But yeah, coming down the pit straight, Bottas is the next car to try and pass me. Hamilton actually got, I think, stuck behind. I think he had some issues, but either way, he dropped back quite a lot. But he's going to be closing us now as he's fixed the issues. But meanwhile, Bottas going down the outside, down towards turn 1. We are close enough to brake late on him, though, luckily, and just about to take that position back, get the track position, and also get the DRS, because the detection point for this straight was actually late on the first straight, so we were behind him, which gives me the advantage of the straight on speed boost. And yeah, 1 lap later, onto lap 23 now, and Bottas once again is in position to challenge. And down towards turn 1, Bottas is going to be close enough for a challenge. I went a bit defensive there, maybe didn't really need to, but Bottas can't make anything happen there. Luckily, he's staying ahead once again, but this is really allowing Leclerc to romp clear. He's already 3 seconds up the road, and Bottas, if he's got any chances of winning, he's got to clear me as soon as possible. But through the final corner, we're not letting that happen, really, as my exits off here are pretty good, to say the least. And yeah, Rich makes an overtake mode, really helping. We're saving it everywhere else and using it down these straights. But Bottas is very much alongside early on the straight this time, so it's going to be very hard to keep him at bay. But the straight on speed, the top speed is Lotus, is pretty decent actually, and braking nice and late. And Bottas is going to turn on me completely there. I don't quite know what he's playing at, but either way, with still side by side through the exit of turn 2, he backs out of that one. And once again, I got the DRS before being behind the detection point. I don't know why Bottas just turned on me there. I was clearly alongside, and Finn just decided I didn't deserve any space. But quite a long way into the race. A long way into the race now. 3 laps to go after this one, and yeah, I think we broke his spirit a little bit because Bottas took a long time to actually catch up again to make anything happen. Maybe he's a bit scared after the contact last time or something, I don't know, but that's also allowed Hamilton, whose issues are well and truly cleared up now, to be right on the back of us. So we've got to hold off both Mercedes. Bottas going up the inside of the final corner, very unorthodox for an AI to make a move there. We're going to try and line up a switchback move. Unfortunately, he's done my trick of getting the DRS as well, and he's going to have it down a straight now. And luckily I've got a bit of ERS to use and rich mix, but with the straight on speed, you can see Bottas pulling away a little bit on the straight because of that DRS being wide open. Actually, no, neither has got it, it seems like, but either way, we're going to send one down the inside into turn 1, and Bottas weaved me a little bit there, so I had to commit very deep into the apex of the corner, and that's allowed me to stay ahead. And this time I do have DRS, luckily, and Bottas isn't close enough to challenge into the next corner. But last lap of the race now, we've still got both Mercedes all over us. Leclerc is absolutely gone. He's 11 seconds clear. He's checked out of this race very early, and lap 29 now, just about close, far enough ahead to not allow Bottas the inside or any challenges to turn 4. But now through the S section, I'd been struggling here for quite a few laps on my hard tyres. Obviously the mediums are behaving a lot better than these, especially when I'm locking up like that on the front right, and Bottas going to try and take advantage and just drives into me again. So I don't know what he's thinking really, and Hamilton's actually taken advantage of that, overtaking his teammate, and yeah, moved up into 3rd place. Bottas just sort of, despite having 99 awareness, he seems to be driving into me quite a lot this race, and coming down the 2nd straight, Hamilton's nowhere near close enough for a challenge, or he thinks about one on the inside, but nothing doing there. And luckily we're going to hold on from the 2 Mercedes and take 2nd place in this race, which I can happily take from the 13th on the grid, to be honest. Very happy with that. Obviously, first podium of the season, we're sort of back on track, I feel like, after Australia, which didn't go to plan really. 8th place if you missed that race. And yeah, Sainz doing a good job in 5th as well, to be fair. The Ferraris and Mercedes were probably too fast for us today, but my strategy really played into my hands, doing the one stop. Sainz did the best he could in 5th, so a lot of points there, 28 points for the Lotus team, and we can definitely take that. Meanwhile, Louis Delatraz, shout out to him, my former teammate, getting his first ever point for AlphaTauri there in 9th. On the championship though, Sainz is 4th on 25 points, I'm 5th on 22. Hamilton leading from Leclerc, so the championship is definitely a potential opportunity this season. 19 points off, and I'm 5th, so it's a very close championship, to be fair. And Vettel still on 0 points, unfortunately for him. And Ferrari only having one scoring driver, really helping us out in the constructors, as we're well clear of Ferrari, really, and Red Bull as well. So second looks fairly safe at the minute. Albon didn't finish that race either, you can see there from the rivalry breakdown. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been J183, and I will see you next time.